Take about an hour and 30 minutes, and the last bus to leave, bus stop number 1, is at 4:30 this afternoon. As it just joined us. As I say, welcome aboard as well. My name's Liz, and your driver is Jim. Here to your left-hand side is Sightseeing Shopping Centre, one of the largest glass-roof shopping centres in the UK. Stands in the original site of Sightseeing train station, which was pulled down in the 1970s. And Sightseeing is the name of Glasgow's patron saint, St Mungo's mother. They believe this is where she was buried in the 6th century. Shopping centre was opened in the late 1980s. And it's about over 80 shops in it. And the steelwork that you see on the roof came from the nearby shipyards back then. The other two murals for Billy Connolly are in this part of the city, 50 murals. The one at the right, the red sandstone building, is at the very end of that building, a mural facing the car park. And on the other side of the shopping centre, there's a wee pub called the Hoot Nanny, and he's in the beer garden. It's called Billy's Beer Garden, the other mural for his birthday.
No, that is a bean. Because I need the beans on this.
And those that just joined us, if you want off any of the stops, just ring the bell and just let us know. That'd be great. On your right hand side where the row of shops is, this is where James McGill, who founded McGill's University in Montreal, this is where he was born. Also coming up on your right hand side, you'll see the fancy building with the Cafe Nero at the bottom. Back in the 1700s, this was the site of the Shawfield Mansion. This is where Bonnie Prince Charles stayed, while his soldiers were based back at Glasgow Green. You see it's food outside, al fresco, to all the Glaswegians of the day who weren't particularly happy he was in the city. Marks and Spencer sits inside the old Blackpool Inn, which was here in the 1700s, and this is where Robert Burns, when he came into the city, spent his time and wrote one of his poems, A Egg for a Kiss, here where Marks and Spencer sits. The building in front, you'll see the statue directly in front of us. This is the Italian Centre now, Italian bars, cafes and designer outlets. And the building here with the flags, this is the Trades Hall. This belongs to an organisation. It's been in the city since the 1600s. This building here on your left, along with the cathedral, are the only two buildings in the city still used what they were purposely built for. Down England Street here to your right, this is where John Alexander MacDonald, the first Prime Minister of Canada, was born, here to your right. And the building on your left, when its name was an old bank, old TSB bank, it's now obviously empty, but over the entrance as you turn round, if you look over the old gate, you'll still see a fantastic statue of St Mungo and the Glasgow coat of arms. Glasgow here in the city centre is a city you look up at some of the fine buildings that we have. Back in the 50s and 60s, they wanted to destroy all these buildings. They wanted to flatten the whole of the city centre of Glasgow and make it a city of steel and glass. Very glad to say that they ran out of money and didn't complete it, or they've lost a lot of these beautiful buildings that we have in the city. And also down here to your right, this is the merchant city, where the tobacco laws and merchants had their townhouses and warehouses, and you've got some great restaurants down here in the merchant city we have. And if you look just over the, above the entrance, fantastic statue, as I said. Straight ahead of us is the GOMA, the Gallery of Modern Art. This was a mansion belonged to William Cunningham, later on became a bank. It's now known for the statue in front of it, which is the Duke of Wellington on his horse Copenhagen and the traffic cone on his head. And this is part of Glaswegians' cheeky sense of humour. The young ones would put the cone on, the council would come and take it down. In 2013, the council wanted to raise the plinth. We were getting ready for the Commonwealth Games, and the last thing they wanted in the city was a statue with a traffic cone. But it was a big outcry in the city, they gave in, and this has become an iconic landmark in the city. So the next stop coming up is stop number 7 for Sir Vincent's Place, the Lighthouse, Princess Square. Buchanan Street Shopping. Straight ahead of us on the other side of the square next to the train station, you see the Millennium Hotel. Back in World War II, this is where Sir Winston Churchill met with Harry Hopkins of the US, and the decision for America to be more involved in the war was taken in this building, the Millennium Hotel. But back then it was called the North British Rail Hotel.